Hey everybody, what is up? Serial Lover Jive here, and today I'm playing Entropia Universe. What we're going to be doing today, as you guys probably figured out already, is going over how to craft. So this is a beginner's guide to crafting, okay? So traditionally when you want to craft, you go to this technician, you buy a bunch of stuff, and you go with that. But don't do that anymore. The technician is there to sell you blueprint books. So the way crafting works is you get blueprints like this, you put them into books like this, and then you go to crafting terminals like this to use those blueprints. And the blueprints are going to, it's fairly simple. Let's go over it, okay? So each blueprint has a design. It takes up this many resources. You go on auction, you buy those resources, then you can go craft whatever it is that you're trying to craft. And that's pretty much it. It's a very easy system to get initially, but there's a lot of intricacies to it. So first off, if you really want to start doing this, it's going to cost a lot of money, but you can eventually get to the point where you're getting a very good return. If you're looking for a guaranteed way to make money, crafting is one of the best ways to do it if you know what you're doing and you know how to play the numbers right. I will not tell you that I do, but I can give you some tips to get to the point where you can start to figure things out for yourself. So first things first, you want to buy this component blueprint, okay, or book. This is the only book you need. I'd recommend buying all of them because you're just going to get a collection of blueprints, but to start out, you just need that component book for 1 PED. Next up, do not buy blueprints from this guy. He's going to rip you off. I mean, he's not going to rip you off, but I would not recommend buying blueprints from him. Instead, go here, go to the auction. So that would be the auction. This is also where you can buy your materials, ores and end matter. Just you can go here to buy everything that you need to craft. But for this case, for starting, you're going to go here and you're going to only buy the explosive blueprint. So you see this explosive projectiles blueprint? This is the type of blueprint that you want. It's a very easy blueprint, a very cheap blueprint to skill up on. You've got that learning period bonus, which is nice. Every time that you run out of that learning period bonus, you just want to upgrade to the next blueprint, okay? So if you look like this, I've got that skill period, so this is a perfect blueprint for me. You can see the price does go up though. Well, the price per cost. We're going to go into nanocubes later. But just go to this, buy your explosive projectiles blueprint, and the only thing to look into here is you're going to notice blueprint values differ based on the value, okay? So the value of a blueprint dictates how likely it is to succeed. So this blueprint has a lower success rate because it's got no value to it. It's got 1 PEC of value than this blueprint, which has 1 PED of value. The higher the blueprint's value, the more likely you are to get a successful craft or successfully craft something, which means the more likely you are to have a good run. So sometimes investing in that higher level blueprint is worth it. I like to buy the blueprints at low levels and just skill them up on my own, but I think sometimes a smart play is to buy the value. It really just depends on the price you're getting it at and everything like that. You can even buy something a bit like this and go from there. We're going to go into this all a little bit later. It's a lot to take on at first, but basically you just need to buy the explosives projectiles blueprint 1. Remember 1, not 2, not 3, just 1, okay? So you bought your blueprint. Now, let's use it. So you take your blueprint, you drop it into your book, just like this. It says red because I've already got it in there, but if I didn't, I'd be able to drop it in, okay? See, there you go, it's green. I can drop this into the component book. Perfect. Now, all you've got to do is buy those nanocubes that you want to use. They'd be right here. You go to miscellaneous nanocubes. Just stock up on those. Buy a ton of them. You're going to see why. So we'll just buy a few for this because this is an example. 901 nanocubes for no reason whatsoever. Go to a construction machine. It doesn't matter what machine, where it looks like, or where it is. Any of these machines should work. Back click on operate and then select the blueprint that you want to use. You can organize by success rate. You can organize by how many attempts you've got, anything like that. It's a very easy system to get used to. So why is this? There we go. Alright. So now we're organized by success rate. Let's actually organize by attempts. I should not have done success rate. And you can see here, perfect example. I've got an 83.1% success rate with this blueprint, which has a 4.5 PEC value, and the blueprint with that 1 PEC value, I have an 81.4% chance of 81.4% success rate. So you can see even a little bit matters. And the more value you've got there, the better you're going to be, the better off you're going to be as far as success goes. Now to construct, you just select the blueprint, go over here, and then for your attempts, you put in whatever you want. Personally, I'd put in the max amount. You don't want to use residue. You don't want to stop when the residue is depleted. This is if you're crafting an item and you want it to be max TT. Always go quantity. So if you go condition, you see that success rate drop. Condition is just like playing the slot machines. Quantity is a little bit more, well, a little bit easier to use. Then you just hit construct and it's going to run all on its own. It's an auto running thing. So let's say you want to cook dinner, get a pizza, whatever. You can just leave it constructing and it's going to run. A basic way to look at this, you get the value, you get whether it's a success or near success. Near success means you get some stuff back, like nanocubes in this case. A success means you get explosive projectiles. This sign means that the quality rating improved. This sign up here means residue or material was salvaged. And let's see if we can get that skill bonus here. Let's see what we get. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, another thing that we can go over is when you're crafting, later on, you're going to be looking to make a profit. Because I said crafting is one of the easiest ones to make a profit in, but hardest to start. The reason that is because with crafting, there's certain blueprints that put out a minimum valued product, okay? So let's say I'm crafting armor. Maybe one of these blueprints is going to give me armor that's always worth 30 PEDs, okay? The minimum value of that armor is 30 PEDs. The goods that I put into that blueprint cost me 15 PEDs. Right off the bat, I'm going to be making 15 PEDs. That blueprint's probably limited because it's, super rare. Mindark knows they're losing money on it. If you watch the market, you can find when that blueprint's percent value is low enough that you can make money on it. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Basically, you do your research and you know, hey, if this blueprint is selling for 400%, I can make an additional few PEDs on it guaranteed because I have a 96% success rate and the goods that I'm putting into it cost 15 PEDs and the minimum's 30 and blah blah blah. You guys get the picture. You've got to run those numbers yourselves. I'm not going to give you any sort of help with that. The other thing to consider is some limited blueprints have globals baked into them, or at least they used to. So if you see a blueprint, there's some that you're automatically going to get a global with, some you don't. Another thing to consider is if you're making L items, which most of you are, if you use residue and that item has a high markup, you might be getting the residue at 101% and the markup of that item is 120%. The residue is only used if the item's created, so you're getting an extra 19%. Again, it's a no-brainer. Keep all this in mind. It's very, very complicated, but if you start running the numbers, running the figures, you do the math, you can figure out how to make money, and I think some of you guys, this is going to get your brains ticking. And also, this is a fairly easy thing to do. There's nothing really, I'm not doing anything here. It's pretty easy. And yeah, that is basically, that's a guide to crafting. There's not much to it. And as I said, keep upgrading as you run out of that learning skill increase bonus period, or whatever you want to call it. It's very important because that's how you reach your highest level, well, that level 10 the fastest. At level 10, that's when you want to start branching out. You want to hit level 10 because that unlocks a certain skill. I forget what it's called. It unlocks a skill that then that's going to go into basically leveling up your professions. And once that skill's unlocked, then it might be time to look into crafting for profit and figuring out where you can make that money. Now, there's more people getting into crafting because of how easy it is and because nanocubes and explosive projectiles, blueprints-wise, are pretty new, so people realize they can get into it and make some money. Me making videos like this does not help, sadly. More and more people are getting into it because they think they can make money, which means the percentages go up and you can make less and less actual money. So keep that in mind. The further down the road you hear about this video, the less likely it is you can make money crafting. But again, if you're a numbers guy, you can probably make it work. So that is a beginner's guide to crafting, not too hard. Buy the explosive projectiles blueprint 1 on the auction, buy nanocubes, buy that tool book, and then start crafting. Hope you guys liked that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you didn't, don't do anything. And if you guys can, if you made it this far, give me a sub. It helps me out, it helps you out, and I'm putting out a ton of Entropia Universe content. Anyways, until next time, peace.